Hopefully this thing is on, and hopefully my voice is not booming like crazy. Now you're probably thinking, hang on a minute, you ain't changed since the video when you did the protective gear walkthrough. You're kind of correct, but the clothes have been washed. Alright, I'm not a complete scumbag. So we've got ourselves a Red Bull. This is almost like, what's the thing where it's like you've seen something from the future or the past, like you've had a premonition type thing, whatever that is. This was all supposed to have happened yesterday. I couldn't get in here, and technically I still couldn't get in here. I had to bump up a curb, bump down a curb, and hope for the best that I can get out of it. Otherwise, this is the new retreat. This is the new headquarters. A couple things to talk about, really. Let's crack the Red Bull open. That's a good Red Bull, considering it's been sat in my bag for some time now. First things first, I've had a few questions, and I'm seeing a lot of people have weird opinions on this about whether or not you should do your CBT or your full bike license. Cue some sort of fancy introduction to a majestic video. Now, I'm from the UK, in case you couldn't tell, and I do have L plates in this. They are stuck on by Velcro at the front here and at the back there. I'll try and remember to put an overlay of what it looks like without the L plates on, but I thought for the video it looked cool if they were off. Now, I am a fucking old bastard. I probably look younger than what I actually am, I think, but I should have L plates on. I run L plates when I'm riding this bike on the roads because I only have a CBT. I've only passed the compulsory basic training, compulsory bike training, whatever it is, which means I have to ride a bike of whatever horsepower that's just a 125, can't have anything more powerful than a 125. I am old enough to do my direct access course, meaning I can just book a course, if you can even get booked in, because it's carnage, especially in the good weather here in the UK. I can basically book a whole course, and that'll include, if I've not done them, my CBT, my module 1 test, and my module 2 test. CBT is literally, you can't really fail it unless you're a complete, I won't say the word, but we'll say complete idiot. Let's say you ride so dangerously, you're pulling out in front of cars, you have no control of the bike, you're shooting off into junctions, you hit a gate, whatever, like things like that. Insane sort of scenarios would need to happen for you to fail the training. It's just training, all right? You get a little bit of chit chat, a little bit of a rundown, what you can't do, what you can do, what you should do, and how to stay safe on the road and keep others safe. And of course, you do a bit of riding in a controlled space, and then you get to finish the training on the road, practice some maneuvers, and they basically see, can you control the bike on the road without endangering yourself or anybody else? If you can, fantastic. There's your CBT. You can ride whatever you want, up to 125cc. Don't think about swapping an engine, just stay legal. Where was I going with this? Yeah, that's the CBT. The module 1 is, trying to think of everything off the top of my head. So you've got, if you imagine, your bike is facing there, and it's in like a car park space, like a bay. We need to get this bike out of the bay, all the way round into another bay. They call it a box, right? Safely, controlled, doing your head checks as you should, because you could potentially be coming onto traffic. That's your first one. Once you've done that, you'll go straight onto the slalom, which is basically where you weave in and out of cones. It's quite tight, but as long as you get the beginning right and you're controlling the bike okay, then you're good. There's tons of videos. Fusion, or aa.fusion, fusion.aa, I'll try and tag his name again. Shut up, you're in a Vauxhall. He does good videos on the module 2. There's a few people that have done module 1 videos that are very helpful in terms of getting an idea of what the course layout looks like. Once you've done the weaving in and out of the cones, the slalom thing, you've got the figure 8. You just basically keep doing that until the guy tells you to basically go over to him, at which point, once you reach him, you then ride slowly and controlled at like a walking pace, keeping control of the bike, not sending it. Keep the bike controlled, and I believe you stop with your front wheel in a box of 4 cones. One there, one there, one there, one there. The cones create a box and you stop your wheel with it in central. At which point, once you're there, that is when you then do your U-turn. U-turn, you learn all this anyways before doing your tests, right? I'm just trying to go over it to give you a bit of an idea, because this is like an all-in-one sort of video, right? Your U-turn. Obviously you want to do your lifesavers, which is your shoulder checks when you pull off, and then you start moving. Then when you go to do the U-turn, again, you need to make sure you're in a controlled manner, the bike doesn't hit the line, the painted line or anything. As you're ready to do the U-turn, head check, look over your shoulder, because there could be someone overtaking you. You've got to treat this secure, controlled space as if it was the road, right? IRL. Head check, do your U-turn, don't hit the painted line. Do not put your foot down. No matter what exercise it is, your foot must not go down because it's not ideal in the road and you probably would crash. And that is an automatic fail of your module 1. Not good. U-turn done. That's when you now are going to be doing your more faster paced exercises, I believe. Is it that one? Yeah. First one is basically you'll be told to go all the way around. You want to aim for around 20 miles per hour. He'll tell you what it is, 20 something miles per hour, 30 something kilometers an hour. You'll go around some sort of bend bit in between these cones, and you just basically want to hit one speed through this sort of speed measuring device thing. Again, unless you're a bit of a buffoon, you wouldn't be hitting it. Just it's cool, just don't overthink it. Go through there. If he's happy with your speed, that's one check mark, but you'll do your emergency stop and a normal stop and like a hazard avoidance thing. Is it 2 or 3? I forget, but either way, you've got to make sure you hit the speed. If you're a mile an hour above or below, maybe you get a minor, but it'll still pass you. Again, loads of better in-depth videos of people are literally doing the module 1 test. I'm just giving you an idea. And once you're done, you still need to treat it like it's the road. He'll tell you to basically ride over to the gate and wait for him to open it. He'll probably tell you to still treat it like it's the road, in which case, just because you've done your exercises and you think you smashed it, head checks when you go to pull off, go to the gate, wait for him, and head checks again just in case. And even when you're out of the gate, still treat it like it's the road just because it's a car park, just in case, because these guys are something, I tell you that. Yeah, that's module 1. Module 2 is just on the road. You'll get some dual carriageway, some normal roads, some town, and it's like 40 odd minutes. Assuming I've left this in the video and it all makes sense of what I've said, that's everything you need to do. Obviously you've got to do your theory, but I believe you've got to do your theory before you can book your module 1 and module 2 with any training school. So the first time round, I went to book my direct access course. I have no riding experience on anything but a BMX. That is it. Now, I did my theory first, and then I did my CBT sometime afterwards. Don't get me wrong, I went out on the back of a friend's, well, not a friend now, an ex-friend's bike, rode it in an industrial estate. I mean, like a secured industrial estate, private land, we call it the industrial estate. Rode it up and down there, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool, sort of thing. That was it. Cutting close to, like, I think I had a month before my theory test and CBT expired, and now I was like, crap, oh my god. Managed to book my direct access course because it was a bit of a, it was like March or something like that, or April. Not really when everyone's trying to like get cracking straight away, we're like in the good weather. Did the module 1, I flopped that the first time because I thought he told me to do, I thought I was doing the exercise again. So I did the exercise again. That exercise that I was doing again was supposed to be the emergency stop. Of course, he's told me to stop, and I'm like, oh, that's a bit of an abrupt, like, stop sort of thing with his hand. And then he just packs everything up, and I'm thinking, oh, I didn't even do the hazard avoidance. Get to the gate, and he's telling me I failed pretty much. And I'm like, on what? And then in my head, and he's like, oh, you didn't slow down in time. And I'm like, ah, fuck. So I didn't mess the first one up. I just didn't listen. My issue, like my problem. So did the module 1. About a week or so later, passed that, smashed it. Didn't have any minors at all. It was just all good, smashed that. Module 2, did that, and everything was good. Apart from the examiner believes that I just basically cut across a few lanes to turn right and go into this new housing estate area. Not true, in my opinion. Now, that was one of the very few things where if I had my camera and mic, you would have heard me be super intentional with what I was doing, because I was like, mirror, mirror, signal, head check, come over into position 3. So I'm like going forwards, head check, go into the next lane, repeat the process till I'm ready to cross the road, head check, go over. I don't know what part of doing all of that made him believe that I was just going all the way to the right and riding like a complete idiot. But that failed my module 2 straight away. Not good at all. The unfortunate thing is, bearing in mind, if I passed that module 2, I would be riding not this. I would have bought a 600 or a 400 or a 300 or something like that. I could have rode whatever I wanted, anything. I could have built a huge gut, big, maybe not big beard, you thought I was going to say something else, and been on a Harley. Definitely never, ever going to happen. But no, failed it. We're here on a 125. I was going away. There was one test available before everything of mine expired, and it was a day after I went away on holiday. And we actually weighed up the pros and cons as to what would cost more to do. Not go on the holiday, lose out on all that money, in which realistically I'd have to reimburse my missus' share, because I'm not rich enough to pay for the pair of us, unfortunately. In fact, I'm actually very, very poor, and she paid for me for the meanwhile. Or go on a holiday and do all my tests again. I'd say you answer it for yourself, but my tan's gone. That's another story. So we went on holiday, experienced a 6.2 or a 6.3 earthquake in Crete. And you know, I have a really hard time of enjoying things in the moment. And I think because I was literally blistering and in pain with sunburn, that kind of wasn't really great. But the holiday itself and my missus, it was great. I don't regret choosing the holiday over the bike tests, because it gives me some stories, and it's a bit more, I don't know, a bit more faff. Maybe I'll have some more experiences that I guess go over when I do the Mod 1 again and the Mod 2 again and whatever. And I'm actually kind of glad that I did the CBT again. It was just like a proper refreshing bit of information like brought back to me. Fuck off, will you? There's a wasp in my helmet, or some sort of like thing that looks like a wasp. I feel like it's been a bit of like therapy, almost a bit selfish really. You know, this is supposed to be about you guys. So that's what I was supposed to have done. That's what the plan was. That's what I tried to action, and I fucked up, essentially. I was just making sure that the audio and video and everything came out okay. I didn't want to find my head was missing from the video, which might be worthwhile doing and considering, because my trimmers are getting blown all over the place. Are you taking the mick out of me? I know this fucking place is just completely open with wind, but I didn't really want the wind to just send you on the floor like that. Are you alright, love? You okay? Need me to kiss it better? Yeah, this is about you guys. Should you do your direct access course? Can you see me? Goodness me. Trying to be a YouTuber, this is just not going very well. Screen protector is now cracked from when the phone fell on the floor, which is just great. Now, should you lot be doing your CBT instead of just doing your full bike license, or should you just jump straight to doing your full bike license instead of just doing your CBT? One way or another, you got to do your CBT, right? We've covered that. Now, you could do your CBT, right? Let's assume you're 24 and onwards in the UK here. You could do your CBT, get a bike for a decent price that you're perhaps not going to lose out on much money when it comes to selling it, assuming you sell it, insure it and ride it perhaps throughout a period of a year, and throughout this period of a year, you do your theory, you do your module 1, and you do your module 2 tests, or a full direct access course. That's one option. You could do the same thing, but not even ride the bike for whatever reason, and just leave it locked up. And yeah, again, get a year's insurance underneath your belt. Hopefully that'll bring your premium down when it comes to insuring a bigger bike. Or you could just not bother getting a 125 at all, and you could just do the full bike test, just again, 24 onwards. Waiting for some old boys to fuck off. I feel like they could have walked bloody anywhere but here, but yeah, whatever. People that are younger than 24, you still have to do your full bike tests, like module 1, module 2, theory, CBT, even if you're younger than 24, but you're just restricted to how much power in the bike you can have. I believe it's an A2 bike is what you're allowed. Some bikes you can basically get that are a 600 and you can restrict them. R6 you can't because it's just too much power. R7 you can get it restricted. SV650 Suzuki you can get those restricted. There's Honda CBR 500s, good bike, or you can go for like Ninja 400s, R3s, stuff like that. Yeah, there's plenty of decent options you can get. Should you go down that route of doing your full bike license but being restricted when you're younger than 24? If you're 20 years old, 18, 19, or whatever age you got to be to do these tests, then sure, go for it. If you're 23, no. Unless you enjoy wasting money, then be my guest, but it doesn't make any sense. You may as well wait. Just do your CBT and your theory, and then wait until you're 24, and then do the module 1 and module 2, and then ride whatever you want. That's what I would have done if I was that age and riding bikes and doing things like that. That's my take on everything. Is first choice, let's say you're 24 and older, yes, just do your full bike test. Don't just ride around for ages on the CBT and leave it at that and wait until you're much older. Like if you're fully into bikes, of course. Just do your full bike license, get it done with, get that in the bag, and then you can choose whatever bike you want to ride. Hopefully not an S1K for your first bike or something, because it's just insane. The second choice would be still plan on doing your bike license, your full bike license, but maybe just get a CBT done out the way, ride around for a little bit, and then throughout a year's period of time, start getting things booked in, start doing your theory and stuff like that. Plan on a bike that you want and go from there, really. I don't really know whether this video is going to have been of any use to someone. Maybe you didn't mind listening to me waffle. Whatever, I guess we're going to cut it there. I've tried to explain my opinion as to whether or not you should bother bombing around with just a CBT for a while, or should you wait to just do your full bike license. So from me and my poor trim, because the wind has completely annihilated it, along with the helmet being on my head for some time, that's my take on whether or not you should ride around on a 125 CBT for ages, or whether you should just wait and do your full bike license. And the bottom line is you've got to do a CBT anyway, so it's just whether or not you want to get a bit of experience on a little 125 beforehand, or wait and get it all on a big bike. Choice is yours, but yeah, I guess I'll catch you guys in the next one. This video has just been a bit of a shambles.